The only constant is change. These were the words of the Greek philosopher Heraclitus. And while science and philosophy don't always go hand in hand, there is some truth to his idea. Change is inevitable and, in many cases, necessary for our species to evolve. But how would you explain giant cylinders covered in instructions delivered by a god? Or huge stone blocks cut, moved, and shaped with absolute precision thousands of years ago? Well, stay tuned, because today we'll be looking at 15 ancient discoveries so strange that no one can explain. Number 15. Assyrian winged genie reliefs. The first people to find these carvings must have felt incredibly small standing beside them. These 9-foot-tall winged figures emerged from the walls of an ancient Assyrian palace after spending centuries hidden beneath dirt and rubble. Their appearance is hard to ignore. Human faces, massive wings, elaborate robes. Some hold what looks like a pine cone, others carry small buckets. Every detail was carved with ultra-precision nearly 3,000 years ago. To the Assyrians, these weren't ordinary men. They were known as Apkallu, wise beings believed to have brought knowledge, agriculture, writing, and civilization itself. In other words, they weren't just protectors. They were teachers. That's partly why the reliefs continue to attract attention today. Some researchers view them as religious imagery. Others argue they may represent something more literal, powerful beings remembered long after they disappeared from the world. Whatever the truth may be, the figures still stare outward with the same expression they carried thousands of years ago, guarding secrets they never intended to explain. Number 14. Utsuro-bune history is filled with shipwrecks, lost travelers, and strange encounters. But few stories are as hard to explain as the tale of the Utsuro-bune. In 1803, an unusual vessel drifted onto the shore of Harayadori in Japan's Hitachi province, now part of Ibaraki Prefecture. Witnesses described it as a hollow, oval-shaped craft, roughly 5 meters long and unlike anything they had seen before. Strange markings covered its exterior, while the inside contained unfamiliar objects and compartments. Its most puzzling feature, however, was a passenger. Inside sat a young woman with pale skin, red hair, and clothing unlike anything known to the local villagers. Clutched tightly in her arms was a small box decorated with symbols nobody could read. Attempts to communicate failed. She spoke a language no one understood, and her origins remained a mystery. Over 2 centuries later, the questions remain unchanged. Was she a castaway from a distant land, the subject of a misunderstood historical account, or something far more terrifying? Number 13. The Gudea cylinder's well. Dreams have inspired people to do strange things throughout history, but few resulted in a construction project recorded on clay tablets for more than 4,000 years. The Gudea cylinders were discovered in the ruins of the ancient city of Lagash in Iraq. Covered from top to bottom in cuneiform writing, they tell the story of Gudea, a ruler who claimed a god appeared to him during a dream. According to the inscription, the god Ningirsu didn't offer vague advice or symbolic messages. He provided instructions, such as measurements, layouts, and details. And not all at once, but brick by brick, Gudea was told exactly how a temple should be built. For a lot of experts, the cylinders provide a rare glimpse into religion and architecture in ancient Mesopotamia. But not everyone reads them that way. Some see them as evidence of direct communication between humans and beings viewed as far more than simple gods. Either way, one thing is clear. Few building projects in history have come with blueprints given from the gods. Number 12. The Satyr and the Hidden Face. Ancient sculptures often tell stories. But sometimes, one appears to be hiding a story of its own. This is the case with the statue of a young satyr, a Roman marble dating to the 1st century AD. Today, it stands as one of the most intriguing pieces in Chicago's collection of ancient art. At first glance, the sculpture looks unsettling. A large, almost ghostly face seems to dominate the figure, giving the impression that the artist intended to create something monstrous. A closer look, however, reveals a different scene entirely. The strange face is actually a theatrical mask held in the satyr's hand. Beneath it stands a youthful follower of Dionysos, complete with a subtle grin and the small tail traditionally associated with satyrs. Its official name, statue of a young satyr wearing a theater mask of Selenos, helps explain the image but not its rarity. No other known ancient sculpture depicts this exact subject in such detailed three-dimensional form. Who commissioned it? Why this unusual scene was chosen, and what message it originally carried remain unanswered questions, making it one of antiquity's most mysterious works of art. Number 11. Vimana Shastra. This is one of the most controversial texts ever associated with the ancient world. Written in Sanskrit and attributed to the sage Bharadvaja, this document claims to describe flying machines known as Vimanas, along with the methods used to construct and operate them. What makes the text so unusual is the level of detail it provides. Some of the machines it describes bear surprising similarities to concepts associated with modern aviation. According to the text, these crafts were powered by different energy sources and capable of remarkable feats. Certain passages even suggest the ability to travel vast distances, reach extraordinary heights, and journey beyond Earth itself. Unsurprisingly, such claims have sparked decades of debate. Many historians argue that the text should be viewed as mythology, speculation, or a much later composition rather than evidence of ancient flight. Others believe it may preserve fragments of knowledge that have been misunderstood or lost over time. Regardless of which explanation is real, the Vimana Shastra continues to raise questions that remain difficult to answer with certainty. Number 10. The desert of forgotten symbols. Across the dry landscape of northeastern Mexico lies Boca de Potrerillos, one of the largest collections of prehistoric rock art ever discovered in the region. Thousands of petroglyphs are scattered across the desert, carved into stone by people whose identities have long since faded from history. The images vary widely. Some consist of geometric designs and abstract patterns, while others appear to depict animals, celestial symbols, or scenes whose meanings have been completely lost. What makes the site especially mysterious is the lack of certainty surrounding its creators. When Spanish explorers arrived in the area, they recorded no major civilization capable of producing such an enormous gallery of carvings. Several theories have been proposed. Some researchers attribute the petroglyphs to groups such as the Chichimeca, while others believe they may be linked to even older peoples who lived in the region thousands of years earlier. Evidence of ancient human activity dating back roughly 11,000 years adds another layer to the puzzle. With no surviving records and few clues left behind, Boca de Potrerillos is still a riddle. Number 9. The mystery of Glozel. In 1924, a French farmer named Miles Fradin was working a field near the village of Glozel when he found a collection of objects that would ignite one of archaeology's longest-running disputes. Among the discoveries were stone tablets, pottery fragments, carved bones, and artifacts covered with strange inscriptions unlike anything previously found in the region. The symbols immediately attracted attention. Some appeared similar to ancient writing systems, while others resembled completely unknown characters. If authentic, the artifacts could point to a forgotten culture or an unexpected chapter of human history. That possibility quickly drew scholars, archaeologists, and critics to the site. The problem was that no one could agree on what had actually been found. Supporters argued they were real and represented proof of an unknown civilization. Skeptics insisted they were modern fabrications. Whether they represent a lost civilization or an elaborate deception, no one has managed to settle the argument for good. Number 8. The guardians of San Agustin. The world we live in was no different than it is today. Long before modern cities and nations, entire civilizations rose, flourished, and disappeared, often leaving behind more questions than answers. One of the strangest examples can be found in San Agustin, home to the largest collection of megalithic sculptures in South America. Scattered across a vast necropolis are dozens of burial mounds and hundreds of stone statues carved from volcanic rock. Some stand only a few inches tall, while others tower nearly 20 feet above the ground. Their appearances vary dramatically. Some resemble warriors carrying clubs. Others depict eagles, jaguars, frogs, and creatures that seem to exist somewhere between animal and myth. Most of the monuments date between the 1st and 8th centuries AD, yet remarkably little is known about the people who created them. Scholars think the statues may have served as guardians for the dead buried nearby, but no one can say for certain. So, what do you think about them? Number 7. The Pompeii of the New World. We all know about the famous destruction of Pompeii. In AD 79, a violent eruption from Mount Vesuvius buried an entire Roman city beneath layers of volcanic ash, preserving it for centuries. What far fewer people realize is that a remarkably similar event took place on the other side of the world. Around AD 600, a volcanic eruption engulfed the Mayan farming village of Joya de Ceren in present-day El Salvador. Nearly 17 feet of ash covered the settlement, sealing it beneath the earth and preserving it in extraordinary detail. Unlike many archaeological sites, this one offers a rare glimpse into everyday life rather than the lives of kings or rulers. Archaeologists have uncovered homes, communal buildings, food jars, tools, sleeping mats, and even a sweat bath used by the villagers. Most remarkable of all are the preserved footprints and impressions left behind by crops growing in nearby gardens. The village's residents appear to have escaped before disaster struck, but the eruption froze their world in time. More than 1,000 years later, Joya de Ceren remains one of the clearest windows into a civilization long gone. Number 6. The iguana that followed a god. The ancient Moche civilization left behind massive pyramids, sophisticated irrigation systems, and some of the finest artwork in pre-Columbian America. But among all their achievements, one small figure continues to puzzle researchers. It appears repeatedly in Moche art and is almost always connected to a deity called Wrinkleface. The relationship is impossible to ignore. Wherever Wrinkleface appears, the small reptilian figure is usually nearby, staring directly toward him. In certain depictions, it even wears a vulture headdress, suggesting that it held a role far greater than that of an ordinary animal. More intriguing still is the consistency. Across different locations and artistic styles, the figure changes very little, implying that it carried a specific and widely understood meaning. The problem is that the Moche left no written language capable of explaining their symbolism. Their temples, pottery, and sculptures survived, but the beliefs behind them largely vanished. As a result, the mysterious iguana remains frozen in time beside its god, preserving a message that modern researchers can see but still cannot fully understand. Number 5. The Sri Lankan meteorite fossils in 2013. A meteorite discovered in Sri Lanka sparked a debate that still divides researchers today. Embedded within fragments of the rock were microscopic structures that some experts identified as fossilized diatoms, a type of single-celled algae commonly found in aquatic environments. The claim attracted attention because of what it seemed to imply. If the structures truly originated inside the meteorite, they could represent evidence that microscopic life existed beyond Earth. Such a possibility supports the theory of panspermia, which proposes that life or its building blocks may travel between worlds aboard meteorites, comets, and other space debris. For some, the discovery appeared to offer a rare glimpse into that process. Not everyone was convinced. Critics argued that contamination, natural geological activity, or errors in analysis provided more likely explanations. Despite years of discussion, neither side has fully settled the matter. Until a definitive answer emerges, the Sri Lankan meteorite fossils remain one of the strangest discoveries associated with the search for life beyond our planet. Number 4. The city of the 16 kings near the border of Honduras and Guatemala stands the ancient city of Copan, one of the most amazing centers of Mayan civilization. What survives today includes plazas, temples, stairways, pyramids, and monuments covered with some of the finest stone carvings found anywhere in the ancient Americas. Copan began as a modest settlement centuries before Christ, but its greatest period came between the 5th and 9th centuries AD. During that time, a dynasty of 16 rulers transformed it into a thriving city that may have housed as many as 20,000 people. Among its most famous structures is the hieroglyphic stairway, a 63-step monument carved with more than 2,000 individual glyphs, making it the longest-known Mayan inscription ever discovered. But despite its power and sophistication, Copan's story ended abruptly. Following the capture and execution of one of its rulers during a conflict with a rival kingdom, the city entered a period of decline before eventually being abandoned altogether. Why such a successful center faded away remains a question that historians continue to debate. Number 3. The mysterious Waffle Rock well. At first sight, Waffle Rock looks less like a natural formation and more like something deliberately designed. Located in Zion National Park, Utah, the unusual sandstone formation is covered with a striking grid pattern that resembles a giant waffle or checkerboard carved into stone. The design is so precise that many visitors struggle to believe it formed without human involvement. The mystery comes from its appearance. Long, straight grooves intersect across the rock face, creating a pattern that seems almost engineered. Over the years, countless theories have attempted to explain how such a formation came to exist. Some have suggested it was created by a lost civilization. Others have gone much further, claiming it may be evidence of ancient technology or even extraterrestrial activity. Geologists offer a different explanation. According to them, the pattern developed through a combination of tectonic uplift, weathering, and erosion acting over millions of years. But for many, that answer feels almost too simple. Number 2. Malta's monument and the lost Phrygian temple. Sometimes the most important part of a discovery isn't what people find. It's what was hiding underneath the whole time. For decades, the Malta's monument in Turkey was known as an impressive Phrygian rock-cut monument dating back roughly 2,700 years. Historians studied it, tourists visited it, and most assumed the story was already understood. Then, conservation work in 2021 changed everything. As researchers examined the site more closely, they realized the visible monument was only part of a much larger structure. Beneath it lay a hidden rock-cut complex extending deep into the bedrock. What emerged was evidence of an older sanctuary, possibly one of the earliest Phrygian temples ever identified. The find forced archaeologists to rethink how these monuments were built and used. Rather than standing alone, the upper monument may have been deliberately placed above an already sacred space. Considering the Phrygians believed the goddess Cybele dwelled within stone itself, that possibility carries huge value. Well, the deeper researchers dig, the older and more mysterious the story becomes. Number 1. Enuma Elish. Every civilization has a story about how the world began. Most are filled with symbolism, lessons, and larger-than-life characters. The strange thing about the Enuma Elish is how different it feels once you actually read it. Discovered among ancient clay tablets in the ruins of Nineveh, this Babylonian creation story is more than 3,500 years old. At its center is a struggle between powerful beings, ending with the god Marduk creating order from chaos. But one detail has continued to attract attention for generations. According to the text, humans were created to work on behalf of the gods. Well, not to rule or to explore, or not even to worship, to serve. For historians, that's simply part of Mesopotamian mythology. But others see something more unusual hidden in those lines. The idea that powerful beings arrived, organized the world, and assigned humanity a purpose has fueled endless debate. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for hanging with us, and be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you very soon.